My father used to say Sheba, as in the Queen of Sheba. Right? So sidebar, I've always had a goddess complex. I've been called Sheba for my entire life. Right? This is not something I made up for the internet. Right? I'm not one of the girls who, inherited names of goddesses and deities. Like, this has been me before it was a thing, right? Before it was a thing for the internet, it was something for me. Used to say, Sheba, I spoil you because I don't want no man to impress you with them things, right? And of course, I didn't really understand, right? Like a lot of things, like, people have said, well, your father taught you all these things, you still had a baby at 14, and you still made mistakes, right? That shows how mentally dwarfed people are, because I give a lot of game and women still make mistakes. All of us have had wisdom given to us throughout our lives, and we still made other decisions, right? So to say that shows me that you are mentally and genetically inferior, right? There's an issue with your DNA, because that's an incredibly stupid statement, right? And so, like with a lot of things that I've been taught by elders, I didn't really understand it. And it's hard to follow something if you don't really understand what it is, right? And this is why I say you can't learn from my social media platforms. You have to be in my spaces offline, right? Speaking of offline spaces, my final Glamour Magic group session will be December 6th, and I believe the next Saturday is the 13th. And my 7-day Gods Don't Beg, They Create ritual will begin on December 12th, which is a Friday, I believe. And it will go on for the next 7 days. Links to follow. So you have to be in my spaces to really understand the nuance of what I teach. Right? Because if you don't understand, you can't implement it, right? You're just gathering a bunch of information. Women are girl mathing their way through life. And this is why a lot of you think men have money, right? As a woman who earns her keep, right? And I'm in the world with mostly average men, mostly average working class men, the men who are the backbone of society, right? The men who make this shit go, right? The average men, the blue collar workers, the white collar workers, the average men, they don't have money, right? Many women are struggling or don't know how to manage their lives. They don't know how to be proactive. And so men appear like they have more than you when they're only a little less broke than you are, because they can survive on a lot less. A lot of what men do is to get women attention and to court women and stuff. A lot of men don't need a lot. They don't need a lot to survive. But we do, right? And because you don't really understand, right? You're girl mathing your way through life. You don't really understand what it means to trade, what it means to negotiate, right? And so people will say, like, marriage is a business and these things. When women are not business savvy. Women don't even negotiate, right? What women claim to do is not settle. When we all settle for things, we're all settling for something. But many of you don't have anything to leverage, right? Being a woman is not enough leverage, because there are women out here, right? There are a bunch of us here, varying from how we look, our bodies and all these things. That's not really something you can leverage. You can leverage a degree. You can leverage your wisdom. You can leverage your talents. You can leverage, this is why people learn trades and they go to school. You go through life developing leverage to use. Just being a woman and existing is not leverage, because you can be useful, but you won't be valuable because you have nothing to leverage, right? And when you don't have leverage, you cannot negotiate. When you cannot negotiate, you are settling for a lot less. So I shared a post on Facebook last night where the fella said, women with fathers don't have to decenter men, right? And he went on and on about whatever his theory was, right? And I'm reading this post and I'm like, this is incredibly fucking stupid, right? What is the correlation between having a father and not decentering men, right? And, with a lot of things that women use to preserve and protect themselves, men make a mockery of because they don't understand it. It's like feminism. Men speak against feminism. They hate it. But if it wasn't for the feminist movement, most men would not be able to have access to women. Because women can work and fend for themselves, men don't really have to take care of women like they would have to if we had to totally depend on them, right? Decentering men is just the preservation of self. What the fuck does that have to do with having or not having a father? And there were bird brains in the comments agreeing with this, right? Because there's always idiot women, surrounding men with dumb fucking ideologies, right? So men can say things like this to you. Men can feed you bullshit when you don't really understand what's going on. When you're not in the world really living proactively. You don't know how to negotiate. You don't know how to advocate for yourself. You have no social skills. And you think being a woman is leverage. That's all you need for leverage. It's not. Look at the average man. The average man, they marry and take what they can get. They don't have the luxury to pick, choose, and refuse. So you really don't have any leverage with that. Most women are average, right? Look at most wives. They're just regular women. It's nothing to like, oh my God, look at her, she's married. Some of them are not even pretty, right? Because the average man does not have the luxury to pick, choose, and refuse. So there are things that you need to be able to have leverage in life and to negotiate and to really not settle for things. Most women we're all settling for something, but most of you are settling way more than you think you are. Now, here's a friendly reminder. I'm not speaking to women who have to be under the covering of a man. Many women don't have what it takes to survive and thrive in the world. I'm not talking to those women. I need many of you to just go find a man and go in a house, right? I'm speaking to women who has leverage. A lot of you are educated. A lot of you make money. Women in my spaces are not broke chicks who don't have shit in life, right? So a lot of you do have the leverage. You just don't know how to use it. You try to weaponize it, which you shouldn't be doing. Men can be valuable, beneficial, even useful to you. Because remember, being useful doesn't mean you're valuable. All women can be used. All men can be used in some way. But are you valuable? Are you beneficial? Right? So your leverage is supposed to be used to trade. Right? So there's no way that the average man who cannot do for me what I do for me, there's no way there's any trade going on. That's why eventually a woman just looks for companionship in a man. Once she gets her life together, it's only really companionship because most men really can't. Can a man really change your life? You got to really think about that. The men you are dealing with, men who's trying to pursue you or court you, even your husband. If your life just went from sugar to shit, could he change your life 180? Without any input from you. Most men cannot do that. Most women have to work. They have to contribute. They have to do things because men cannot afford to really put you in a better financial place. They don't have the resources or the connections to do that. Most men don't. But because many of you are in survival mode in some way, even if it's emotional survival mode, where you think you need a man to fulfill you, that puts you in a very bad place, right? Where you're not able to leverage and negotiate. So a lot of the talking points, right? Like the one I was just speaking about where women with fathers don't have to decenter men. That's incredibly fucking stupid. I mean, some things I'm just like blown away by how fucking idiotic it is. When men teach their daughters to decenter men. So a lot of things that men try to use to make a mockery of women empowering themselves, because that's what a lot of men are doing. They're making a mockery of you doing better for yourself, of you preserving yourself. That's all decentering men is. Decentering men is not, you don't deal with men at all. Like, let's not be ridiculous. That's what men think, because men are in survival mode. Men need women. They don't need you. So anything you do to lessen their chance or opportunity to have a woman, they're going to make a mockery of it, even if they sound incredibly fucking stupid doing it. Solid men do want you to have some kind of leverage. Solid men don't really want you with nothing to contribute. It's only weak men that want you to sit home and do nothing, because that makes them feel like men. Men who have something to lose, they do want to be with a woman who has some type of value, something to leverage, something to trade, to make it worth his while. No one with something to lose wants to pour endlessly into anything that they don't get a return from. Well, men don't do that. Even men with nothing, they know they have to get something in return. Women will pour endlessly into something and get nothing from it. That's why many of you think men have money, or you will trade yourself for the shit. You can just go down to somebody's job. You go down to them people's job, clock in, and make the shit that he's giving you. It be nigga pennies and nigga trinkets. Y'all really, you look at the average woman, what y'all trading yourself for, it ain't really, you could really just go ahead and clock in for 40 hours a week and go do that shit yourself. And here's the irony with men, right? They want to be the solution to all of your problems, but they want you to believe that they are the cause of none of them, right? So that post, women with fathers don't have to decenter men. And he said, men are not the problem. Your decision making is. And he's right. Your decision making is the problem, but so are men. Right? So men do what the government does and the powers that be. They create the problem and they want to be the solution. Right? So don't be fooled. Like, when you really take a stock, look at things, when you really look at things for what they are, most men are not in the positions y'all think they are. Most men. The average man is not getting it like that. They don't have money. Right? They can't trick their money. They can't do the things that you really want them to do. And if they're going to do it, they have to have an investment in you. So even when you're agreeing with the men, when they're speaking of things that are going against your best interests, ask yourself, would this man be able to change my life? Totally shift it 180. Would this man put his life on the line to save mine? Like, a lot of this shit men are not going to do for you because they have no investment in you. You got to really, they have the leverage when you think that they are capable of things that they're really not capable of. And they know that. That's why they're so desperate to find wives. Men with means don't have to really, it's smart to get a partner, but they have money to court women. Most men don't have money to court women. That's why they'll stick it out with their wives they don't like, but try to cheat on her. A lot of, or cheat on her, not try, cheat. Or have other women, or have an arrangement with his wife, or whatever the fuck they be doing, whatever men be doing. They're not in the positions y'all think they are. They just want you to believe that, because that is their leverage. When you start really being out in the world, being proactive in your life, earning your own keep, doing what you need to do, you're going to realize that you better off just going down to them people's job, child, or just starting a business, because men are not getting it. Like, most men are not. They're not. They're just going to contribute pennies and trinkets, if that.